inside the app services only, right? Now here we have the application insights. Okay, if you want to change the application insight, you can just do that. That is up to you. But now if I'm going through that, it will again redirect me to the application insight page, right? Now, first of all, one by one, let's talk about that. Application map. Now, what is mean by application map? So here I haven't used that web application till now. So let me just show you how that application map looks like. So one application insight can monitor multiple web application, multiple function apps, and multiple API managements. Okay. Now, if I want to check each and everything in a one page itself, which request is coming from here and there, everything, then I can go for the application map. I can go for the application map. Let's get inside that images. So see here, like that, you will get the images. So let me just open this image. Who is connected with whom? Everything you will get it over here. See here. So let's say this is my first instance. This is my another instance, first instance, second instance. This is my another instance, and this is my another instance. If I'm connected with the databases or anything, see here, this web application has been connected with the service bus. This particular web application has connected with the SQL server. So which traffic is coming from where? See here, there is a cache. So you can implement the inventory cache as well. So which data is coming from where? Everything you will get that information from here. See here, you can see that how many calls are going for this, how many calls are going for this and that, everything. So this is what the application map, right? And you will get that application map from here, this one. Now after that we have a smart detection. Smart detection means what? If you observe, whenever you are creating the web application, by default, Microsoft is creating the alert rule for the smart detection. Alert rule for the smart detection. Now, what it detects? It is smartly detects if something went wrong with the application. For example, slow pages or anything abnormal rise is coming into the web application, right? So everything. Now there are multiple criterias, and whenever this condition met, it will throw you the smart detection over here. Now what are that criteria? If you go through that, there is a smart detection settings. So within that smart detection setting, you will get that rules or the conditions. So whenever your web application is facing the slow page load time and the slow server response time or the long dependency duration, degradation in a dependencies, or the abnormal rise is coming into the in exception volume, or the abnormal rise in a daily volume, everything. So these are the few conditions. Whenever this one of the condition met, you will get the notification over here in the smart detection, and it will give you the data for the 7 days, and it will be present for 24 days on 24 hours only, right? After that, here we have a live metric. Live metric means what? How many data, who is accessing the data, not who is accessing the data, how many people are accessing the data, whether that web application gets served with that users or not, everything you will get it from this live metrics, right?
So, Madhavi, just like this data which has been giving for 7 days or 90 days, as you said, is there any way to copy it or take the data in our in our desktop or anywhere else to just secure it?
Okay, you are asking me to take the monitoring data.
Yeah, I'd keep it like in a Excel file or any CSV file where we can just like 90 days I tell you one situation in one of our previous organization where I was working. This data was definitely 90 days, but we were looking for a data for near about, I think, 6 months before, and we couldn't even do it because it only gives for 90 days. So, is there any way to for a like a fallback plan from
Yes.
for future? Is there a way to take a backup, or you not a backup really, basically you take that data for 90 days and keep it somewhere else, so we are able to, whenever it's needed, we can go ahead and cross check it later on, at least
Yes,
one
yes,
year.
yes. So I think we have discussed that point. Let me just give you that brief.
Okay.
So in the diagnostic setting, every resource is having the diagnostic setting.
Yeah.
You can use the diagnostic setting and you can collect the logs. So let's say for the application insight, these are all logs or the availability result or the browser timing, event, metric, dependencies, and each and everything.
Right.
I want to send it to my log analytic workspace
Okay.
where I can just take the logs. That is issue. That is not the issue. But if you want to store it for the higher number of days, you can just store it inside the storage account,
Okay, I missed that.
right?
Got it. Got it.
Or if you want to collect that information for the analytic purpose, after 1 year or 1 month, 2 months, I want to do the analysis on that, then you can just use it Event Hub.
Okay.
Okay, so these are the options. You can just collect that information and you can just store somewhere.
Got it. Got it. Thank you.
All right, great. All right, so this part is done. Let me just go through again that application insight first of all. All right, so we have talked about the live metric. So live metric will give you how many hits are there, how many failures are there, everything. It will give you that output. See here, request rate, request duration, and all failure rate, everything you will get it from here. Now, let me just go for the transaction search. Transaction search will give you the information, all the transactions. As I just created that web application and I just not using that web application right now, right? So I have just created that, that's it. So there is no transaction has done on my web application or any application which is connected with the application insight. So if there is a transaction is going from the web application and coming towards the web application, it will collect the all kind of transactions. It means if somebody is requesting for the web application, let's say HTTPS and then my Madhvi website dot azure website .net. So this is my URL. So if somebody accessing that, then what is the response time? And what is the response code? Okay, they will get that proper application, which is a 200 code, and the latency will be 10 millisecond, 20 millisecond, like that. So that is the transaction has done on my this web application. So I will get that information over here. So still there is a no transaction done from my web application, so I'm not getting any output over here, right? But after that, in the availability, availability means what? Let's say I have created my web application inside a East US region. I'm present in a India region, which is a central India location. I know that I can access my web application from my India location, central India. But I don't know whether UK users can access that URL. I don't know whether US peoples can also access that URL. I don't know about that. So if I want to check that from the different location, I can go for URL ping test. It means from there, each and every location, it will ping the URL. So for example, it's not recommended, or it's not compulsory to use only the web application URL. You can search for any URL. You can just use any URL for that. Test it. Facebook.com or any other URL, you can just put it over there. So after that, here you can just use that, enable the retries for availability test failure. You can just add the retries as well, or otherwise you can just skip it. Now test frequency, after every 5 minutes, I want to test it. And this is my location. So I don't want that West Europe, West US and all. I want it through the Australia, South, France, North Europe, and then UK West. So like that. I want this. And then success criteria. What is the success criteria? It should get 200 okay. Right? Then and then only I can say that, okay, google.com is reachable from these locations. And if it is just trying to redirect to that google.com for 120 seconds, and after that it will time out. So you can enable it and then create it. So this is what URL ping test. There is another test which is called as a multi-step. So if you have a JavaScript which is called as a JMeter testing, where we have written some most of the software testers or the using that particular thing, automation, right? Testing. So there is one script in the JSON file, and then you will get that information, right? And then you can just put that JSON file into that classic test, and then your application will be tested by using that steps JSON script. So this is a JMeter scripting. So you can just add that UI testing or JMeter scripting over here. And see here, 100% everyone can access my URL, right? That google.com. So like that, you can just add it. If there are some failures, you will get that information from here, from the failures. What is the response code? What is the expectation, exceptions? What is the failure dependency? Everything. Here, you will get the overall performance of that applications. Now here we have the users. Now users means what? How many users are accessing that web application? Users means what? It will give you the count how many users are accessing that web application. Till now, I haven't redirected to that web application. So it's having 0 users. Session means how many users are there present into that same session. If I'm accessing that URL multiple times again and again and again and again, then I'm present in that particular session only. So it will count me as a 1 only. Event means it's a page count. Page count means what? How many attempts? Let's say I'm the user, I'm still present in the session number 1, but I have redirected or I have refreshed that page multiple times, 10 times. So it's a kind of a page count, page views. So it will give me that events. After that, we have a funnels. Funnels means what? Let's say there is a Z5 app and I want to check the flow of a users. It means, let's say there is a step 1, step 2. Let's say there is a top step and second step. So I can just provide that step. Let's say for the Z5 app. So the first step will be create the subscription, or not creating the subscription. The first step will be creating the account in my Z5 and then purchase the subscription. Let's say at the first instant, at the beginner level only, if my Z5 application subscription is very, very costlier, then what? So this is my first step, which is a create an account, and second step, purchase the subscription. So people are going for this create an account. You can just specify that step, okay, whatever your step will be. So people are going up to this one, but they are not purchasing this particular subscription. Only 50% or the 40% users has purchased that subscription. So I can say that I need to reduce the amount, right? Now, once I reduce the amount, I can again say that, see that, okay, so most of the people now creating the account and most of the people are also purchasing the subscriptions. It means now the demand is high, 100%, 100%, then I can increase the amount of it. So like that, you can add the funnels. Now here we have a user flows. So user flow will give you each and every flow. Let me just show you from the image. So see here, this is a kind of user flow. So in that particular application, so let me just open it in a new file. See here. So this is my details page. It is my create page. It is my home page. It is my session ended page. It is my tickets, everything. So for example, in my application, there are multiple categories. So how many traffic is going towards this? How many traffic is going towards other categories? How many traffic inside that categories also? How many traffic is going towards this and that? Everything. And when this session ends, everything you will get the information from that user flow, how that flow is going on throughout the application. So this is what the user flow, right? So that's it. User flow. Cohort means it's a combination of event, sessions, users, and funnels. You can just get a combination of it, right? So this is what the application insight. Now only one part is remaining, which is called as a network watcher. So see here, there is a network watcher. So if I'm getting inside the network watcher, this is my network watcher, and inside that these are what? These are the network watcher instances. So for every region, there is a one instance only, right? It will collect all the information regarding with the networking. So if I'm getting inside this one, East US, West US, and the Central India, let's get inside the topology. So you can get the topology. Now let's say for my resource group, I want to understand the RG1 and the select the network. So I will get that network information. See here, right now, this is my VM1 and VM2 is connected with that virtual network. So you will get that information. It's a networking information, visualization, topology. So in my subnet, there are two NIC cards and that NIC cards are connected with two virtual machines. Now this virtual machine is not having the NSG, So I can include that NSG also over there. So from here, I can understand, okay, this virtual machine is not having the NSG. So I can do that, right? So this is a kind of topology. Here we have a connection monitor. So either you can go from here, or either you can go from here, which is a connection monitor. So that connection monitor or try connection monitor, you can just go through this and just create it. Then here it is, both the things are going to give you the same, redirect you to the same page. Now what is meant by that? It will enable you to monitor the connectivity in your Azure and the hybrid network. So right now I don't have any kind of the hybrid network, so I cannot check the connectivity. But the connection monitor means what? If you want to check the connectivity between the Azure as well as the hybrid network, you can choose the connection monitor. Here we have a network performance monitor. So if you are having any kind of existing workspaces and you want to monitor the network performance for that, you can choose this one, network performance monitors, right? After that, here we have a IP flow verify. IP flow verify means what? Let's say if I'm having this virtual machine, I have my NSG, everything is good, but I want to check whether I can access Google or not, google.com or not. How to check that? Taking the RDP of my virtual machine and then getting inside my virtual machine, and then after that redirect it to the www.google.com, right? It's a huge step. So instead of that, I can just put here, I want to check from my end, from that virtual machine, I want to check whether I can access 8.8.8.8. What is that? This is the IP address of the Google. And I want to check it on a 80 number port. So this is my 80 number port. I want to check it, whether it is allowed or not. So I will get that information over here. So see here, access is allowed. Why? Because of this rule. Allow internet outbound. So this is a rule present in my NSG. So I can access from my virtual machine, I can access the google.com. Here we have an NSG diagnostic. Let's say if you have created some rule, but if you want to test it from here, you can just test it from here, right? After that, here we have a next hop. Next hop means what? Let's say this is your virtual machine. Let's say this is your virtual machine. And in between internet and your virtual machine, there is a firewall. There is a firewall. So you can create the firewall for your virtual networks as well. Okay. Now, if it is a firewall in between your virtual machine and the internet, then what, how you can see that? So sometimes what happen, firewall will control the incoming and outgoing traffic. So let's say from your organization, from your virtual machine, you can access google.com, you can access microsoft.com, but you cannot access Instagram, you cannot access facebook.com. So because of the firewall, this is denied and other URLs are allowed, right? So firewall will decide which one is allowed and which one is denied. And in order to do that, here we need to create a route table. Here we need to create a route table which will decide if something is coming from internet or something is going to the internet, it will redirect it to the firewall only, and then only it will going for the virtual machine. So that routing, if somebody wants to access the VM virtual machine, then the next hop will be the firewall. So it should be go through that firewall only. That particular routing is given by the route table. That routing is given by the route table, right? So let's say if in my organization, so this is my virtual machine, this is my virtual machine, this is my source IP address, and I want to reach out to the 8.8.8.8. And whenever I'm just accessing my google.com, it is not allowed. So I need to check what is happening in between that, whether it is having the firewall or not. So I need to check that. So here I will get that information, which is the next hop is IP address directory. If there is a next hop will be the firewall, then you will get that information as well as you will get the information regarding with the route table. Okay, so this is the one. After that, here we have a effective security rule. Effective security rule means what? In NSG, there is an inbound, there is an outbound, but there is a no option to collect that both of the terms, which is the inbound and outbound together. So if you want to collect that together, then you can go for the effective security role. As well as here you will have the option which is the download. So if you want to help others with your NSG rules, then you can give it to the other peoples as well. Instead of giving the permission on your virtual machine, you can just give the download that NSG rules. See here, inbound and outbound rules, and give it to that particular person. So it will download in the Excel sheet. You can download it into the Excel sheet format. Okay. After that, here we have a VPN troubleshooter. If you have already created a VPN gateway and still you are not getting that output, everything is good, everything is perfect, but still something went wrong. So in order to troubleshoot that, you can just go with the start troubleshooting for the VPN gateways, right? Here we have a packet capture. Packet capture is the one which will capture each and every packet, whether it is a TCP or anything, any packet which is coming from the virtual machine and going to the virtual machine. Every packet, it will collect it over here, right? So here you need to add that value. You need to add this one, packet capture, and then here you need to select the storage account, in which storage account we need to store that packets, and then what is the bytes, everything, and then it will store that storage inside the storage account. And then once it is stored inside the storage account, you will get that storage account over here. So this is the capture. Now, in order to access, as I already deleted that RGLB, right? So it is not giving me that options, right now. But it will show you this one, storage location. So you need to download it. Okay. Now, once you download it, you need to install the some software. In order to read that, you need to install some software, right? Then and then only you can read it. Okay. After that, here we have a connection troubleshooter. Now, connection troubleshooter means what? Let's say inside my resource group, okay, this is my resource group, this is my virtual machine, and this is my VM1. I want to check it. Let's say I have two virtual networks and I have created a virtual network peering in between both of them. So it means VM1 from the virtual network 1 can talk with VM2 within the virtual inside the virtual network 2, right? They can talk with each other. But in order to check that, I need to take the RDP of both the virtual machine. I need to get inside of the both the virtual machine. I need to ping and pong operation. I need to enable that. So it's a very, very hectic one. So instead of that, you can just do one thing. You can just choose your source virtual machine. You can choose your destination virtual machine and the preferred IP v4. I can just go with the v4 only. And then TCP destination port will be 80 number port, and then you can just check it whether they are allowed or not with each other. So this is a ping pong operation. So you will get that information over here. So it will check that information whether they are connected with each other or not, right? So this is done for the network watcher as well. Any doubts till that for the monitoring? Yes, any
No.
doubts? Okay, great. So like that, we have done with each and every topic and more than that topic as well for this AZ900, AZ104 as well as AZ305. Yes, some of the topics are there which is a theoretical. So you can just go through that theoretical aspect by yourself, just reading that document, and then you can just go through that. Okay. So I think let me just delete my all resources, otherwise it will utilize my all the credits. Till that, any question, just let me know. Yes, team? Any questions? All good?
All
We
good
have
till
done
now.
with this.
All good till now, Madhavi. As I said, like it will come more once we again revisiting these sessions and doing more practical things.
Hands-on. Yes,
Uh,
yes. And at that time, if you are facing any challenges, you can reach out to me anytime. Okay?
Sure, Madhavi. What is the best time to reach out to you, Madhavi, in that case? Like weekdays, weekends?
Best way will be you can just ping me
Okay.
over the chat. Okay, so most of the time in a weekdays I will be bit busy in my trainings,
Okay.
so maybe I could not able to answer at that point, but I will get back to you for sure if you ping me on the WhatsApp.
Sure, Madhavi.
Okay, all right, let me just now let's talk about the exam perspective. Do you guys have any kind of exam how to schedule the examination or any knowledge?
I do have, especially from through Pearson.
Pearson view, great. Azra, do you have that?
Yes.
Okay. Ishwar, do you know how to schedule the examination? And Surbi?
Yes, yes.
Okay, Surbi, do you
Yes,
know?
Madhvi, as I have given easy 900, so I have a knowledge of how to schedule.
Okay, great. Cool. Then I will go for this one. Now let's go for AZ104. Any certification for the Microsoft, you can just put the code of it and then you can just go for exam. Okay, you can go for the exam. Just type here AZ104 and exam, and then you can just hit on this one, learn.microsoft.com only. If you want to schedule the examination, you can schedule the examination from here. These are the skill measures, right? In which topic, what are the different subtopics are there? You will get that information. After that, here we have this learning path. As we have already discussed each and every learning path, you will get each and every details. Now Microsoft is coming up, they are just expiring that skill pipe. So before 1 year, there is a skill pipe, and from that, Microsoft provides the book, handbook kind of thing to the participant. So right now, they are totally moved out from that skill pipe, and they have put each and everything, all the handbook kind of thing over here, but in a different way. It's a kind of a book only, but you need to go through that each and every learning path. So first of all, you have to complete each and every learning path. So what is that? So in order to prepare for the examination, complete e-learning, which is a free of cost. You don't need to worry about that. Even they have provided some sandbox. You can just go through that sandbox as well, right? Where you can just practice it. Now, once you're done with that, you need to go through AZ GitHub Labs. This is similar for each and everything. If you want to go with the 305, then also the same steps, right? For this e-learning path, you can search for AZ104 or any code, okay? Exam. Now, for the labs, complete all labs. And for that, you can just type here AZ104 GitHub Labs. Okay, these are the GitHub Labs. So you need to go through that and you need to follow with the instructions. Clearly follow with the instruction. Read it, because if you go through that, you will never fail out. But it is important to stuck somewhere. Then and then only you can explore more and more for this. Okay, so these are the one. Now third one is go through dumps. Go through the practice test, I can say. Right, you can just go through the practice test. I cannot say that, okay, dumps. Okay, just go through the practice test once and then appear for the examination. Right, so only these three things are very, very important if you are going for any kind of examination. Okay, so complete your e-learning path, complete your labs and the practice test. After that, how to schedule it, you already know about that. But whenever you schedule your examination and the examination point of view, whenever you start the examination, it will ask you 5 questions. If you remember in the 900 or any examinations, they will ask you the 5 questions on the level of skill measures. Let me just show you. If I'm going through that AZ104 examination, so they will ask you for sure, every examination, they will ask you these kind of questions. What is the knowledge on manage Azure identity and governance? What is the level of knowledge on implement and manage storage? What is the knowledge on deploy and manage this one? What is the knowledge on this one and this one? All the skill measures, they will ask you the questions. So at that time, you need to select the last option, which is, I'm new to that, I'm no voice. Everywhere you need to select, I'm new to this, I'm a fresher for this, I'm a beginner level. You have to select that. So what happen if you're selecting that? Maybe in your examination, there will be the question related to the labs, right? You need to perform the labs. But as per my observation, if you are selecting, I'm the expert level, intermediate level, they will include the labs inside that. But if you are saying that, okay, I'm a beginner level, no labs will be there. Okay, that will be the easier one. At the end of the day, no one will ask you that what you have selected, whether you have selected a beginner level or the intermediate level. They only say that, or they only ask you that whether you have cleared or not. They even not ask you the question, what is the score? Because in order to clear the examination, your score will be 700, which is the very, very highest, right? So they will not ask you that question, what is your score? And they will not going to judge you on the score basis. They will only check that whether you have cleared that certification or not. That's it, no matter what. Okay, so you need to remember that pointers. So for that first time, you need to select for every. So now I'm having the expert level of knowledge on the Azure portal, or I can say that intermediate knowledge. But whenever I'm appearing any kind of examination, I'm always selecting the no voice only. I'm just beginner level. Because no one will ask me that questions, right? So just select that kind of things. And after that, try to complete each and everything, because there is no negative marking, as you already know about that, right? So these are the things. Another trick, as I already said that, so in your exam, in your questions, you will get the questions as per the paragraph only. So you need to read that paragraph once, and what will be your exam answer, that will be the correct for sure. If you go through these things, that will be the correct answer for sure. But if you're confused little bit, read that question again, once, twice, or thrice, and then find out the key sentences or the key words. For example, if I'm saying that, okay, I have 100 virtual machines which are present in this and that region and all these things, zones, different data center, not a zone, not a region. It is present in a different data center, and I want to make sure about that my virtual machine, at least some of the virtual machines will be running in the data center failure, on the data center failure. Then what? The data center failure is the keyword over here. And they will ask you whether you want to select the availability set, availability zone, or whether you are selecting the region failure or anything else. So you need to select, and they will mention that, okay, I want to use the cheapest solution. So the ZRS will be the cheapest solution for the data center failure, right? We are not having the requirement of the region failure, only the data center failure. So the cheapest solution will be the ZRS. So like that, they will ask you the question, multiple question, and then you need to answer it, right? So these are the things. Now, another thing is, there is a true and false questions. If you remember, there is a true and false question. So in the associate level courses, there will be one question, okay? One question with three solutions, And out of the three solutions, only one answer will be the correct answer, right? So here we have a true and false, here we have a true and false, here we have a true and false. If you don't know anything about that question, then select false, false, false for each and every answer, because here you cannot go back and change the previous answer. You cannot do that. So for this particular thing, Make sure about that. If you don't know anything regarding with the question, just click on false, false, false everywhere. So only one out of that three, only one will be the correct answer, right? So maybe, so because of that, I will get two at least out of three. Correct two answers out of three questions, answers, right? But if you do some, I can say that overconfident on you, and this is your correct answer, but you selected here false, and here you selected the correct answer for this, then your this answer is wrong, this answer is wrong, and this answer is correct. It means the chances are less. So for this kind of questions, just remember that. Select, if you don't know, really don't know about the question, then and then only click on false, false, false. Is this clear? Yes, is this clear?
Yes, Nandini.
Yes.
Similarly, there are some questions for the yes and no. If you don't know anything, any one thing, then at least you can mark no for all and yes for all. Do that. At least you will get 1 or 2 marks out of that. If you don't know anything about that, okay? Then and then only. But remember that the questions are kind of a logical way. Most of the time, these are the logical way. Most of the time, I also observe that whenever I'm reading it first time, I just click, select that answers whenever I'm going through the dumps. And then again, second time, whenever I'm reading it, I'm just overthinking it. And I'm just thinking about that, why I have chosen that answer. But that answer was correct. But I don't know why I have chosen that. So whenever your mind is a very, very, you are not overthinking and light, then and then only you will get a correct answers out of that. Okay, just go with that flow. Don't take a too much tension or anything. Just go with that flow, and then definitely you will be clearing that examination for sure. But just remember that don't go directly for the dumps. Never. Go with the e-learning path, go with the labs. You have your my recordings, you just go with that recordings as well. Clear your solutions, each and everything, and then only go with the dumps. And whenever we have a dumps, don't trust on that dumps. Questions will be there, but don't trust on the answers. 80% answers are correct, but I'm not guaranteed for the 20%. So for that, you need to search that answer from the URLs, which is given in that particular question. In that answer area, everywhere there is a URL. So you need to gone through that, and you have to check that answer whether it is correct or not. Is this clear? Yes, is this clear?
Yes, Madhvi.
Okay.
Madhvi, is there a time limit for the test?
Yes. So here we have the 2 hours, right? 2 hours for your examination and half hour for the check-in process. So in between that 2 hours. Yes, what?
How many questions?
How many questions? That questions will be from 45 to 60 only.
Oh, okay.
That questions will vary because sometimes the questions are very, very lengthier, which is having the no and yes. Sometimes the questions are tough. So they will not reveal that particular thing. You will get only the 45 to 60 question in between that.
Okay.
Okay. And there are 3 parts. Remember that. One part is the case study. Another part will be the true and false. And main part, which is the MCQ. The very large part will be the MCQ. So you need to complete all 3 steps and then end the examination. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Great. So I think we are done here. Let me just stop the recording first.